Good morning to all. Thank you for being here. We are about to take part in a very solemn ceremony. This is our Veterans Day 2024. And I'd like to start off with us reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much. I'm not much of a singer. Thanks for helping me. Our chaplain will offer prayer. O God of hosts, we bow our heads in thankfulness for the victories Thou hast granted us, to us and to those peoples who have united with us to stamp out the evils of aggression, intolerance, and greed. We beseech Thee to bring the blessings of understanding to the families and friends in this and other lands of those who have given their lives that men may be free. Grant, O God, that these closest to the fallen may mingle the pain of their losses with the ennobling light of sacrifice for civilization, sacrifice for a better world for this and other generations yet unborn. Grant us too, O Lord, the courage to so live with a family of nations around the world that the end of strife will be the beginning of enduring peace. Grant us patience in planning with our fellow men and women in a world which nations may resolve their differences by peaceful means. Touch Thou the souls of people in every land with the enduring light of wisdom, so they may be from brotherhood which will strive to further the arts and peace under laws and ethics blessed by love. Grant us now Thy continued blessing upon unity and strength that makes victories possible in war, that we may win greater victories of peace. Amen. On this Veterans Day, we are commemorating the service of veterans of all wars. We remember how men and women set aside their civilian pursuits to serve their nation cause, defending the freedom of mankind and preserving our precious American heritage. We believe our strength on the fields of battle, on the supply lines which nourished our armed might, lay in the justice of our cause against the forces of evil. We believe our determination made us better warriors because we fought with our minds and our hearts as well as our bodies. We recognize service to our country and her cause does not end with the termination of military service. We continue our endeavors on behalf of an honorable world peace with a feeling of profound gratitude to God and to the men and women who gave their lives as a part of the cost of the noblest of causes. Out of our blood and sweat, we learned of purpose, sacrifice, tolerance, bravery, and discipline. These are solid foundation stones upon which a great nation is built. In our continuing quest for an honorable world peace, we must cultivate those virtues. Our first officer will make some statements. Bill O'Connell, United States Air Force.
If there may be glory in war, it is the most incredible spirit which it engenders. Those who offer their lives, their all, with a magnificent abandon, heroism becomes contagious, yet too in warfare. Greed and brutality are epidemic. Too often it is these latter which persist in the peace that follows. Let us try to see the same spirit of self-sacrifice is cultivated in peace as it has been exhibited in war. It behooves us to rear new standards of success, to inspire youth in peace as youth was inspired in war. Public honor must be given where public honor is due, not to the manipulator of market, the seeker after profits, power, or position, but rather us honor the heroes of science who alleviate human sufferings and carried us to greater heights, the standards of civilization. Let us honor those who in public service sees not how much they may secure from the nation, but how much they can give. Let us honor those who devote their lives to that education which will lead our children on to live and laugh and learn and love, as we have only dreamed of doing so. Let us honor those veterans who carry on to ordinary affairs of life, a noble idealism, and a sincere capacity of self-devotion. Let us translate the devotion of war into devotion of peace. Let us will to live as well as die for our country.
Thank you, Bill. Our second officer speaking this morning, U.S. Air Force veteran Amy Farrell.
Coming out on this Veterans Day. The hurts of war fall alike upon those who wear the same uniform. No matter how they may differ in race, creed, or culture, those who fight together suffer together to achieve a common aim. In the similarity of battle dress, there is a common denominator, the common purpose, the sharing of danger and suffering, which brings in time of war a tolerance which adds strength to the cause. As we put aside the brown and blue and green fabrics that made us one people on the battlefields, we hold in our minds the tolerance we have achieved. In tolerance there is progress toward a better and a happier world.
Thank you, Amy. Our third officer speaking this morning, Army, is it? Army. United States Army veteran, Tom.
War has taught us the lessons of obedience to command. The game is more than the player, and the ship is more than the crew. There is a greater discipline we must now pursue if we are to preserve this virtue of obedience in our quest for an honorable world peace. That is obedience to the laws we ourselves make voluntary discipline of citizenship. Under our system of government, we may change the laws by majority rule. We may persuade our neighbors to new theories or new courses. We may advocate in free elections the choice of veterans or plans. As good citizens, we follow the choice of the majority, whether that choice be the individuals or not. This is the virtue of discipline which must be ours in peace. This is the lesson we must learn at home, in school, on the playing field, in organizations, in the community and the nation. It is the lesson of voluntary obedience to the decisions of the majority. We must not be unmindful either of the conclusions of other peoples with whom we have joined in the quest for an honorable world peace. This is the highest order of disciplines.
Thank you, Tom. In time of peace, we can use the ennobling virtues of war and put behind us ugliness and suffering. In peace, we shall go forward together to scale new heights of achievement in unity and purpose. O God of hosts, we bow our heads in thankfulness. Thou hast granted us, as to those peoples who have united us, is to stamp out the evils of aggression and intolerance. Grant us now thy continued blessing upon unity and strength that makes victories possible in war, and that we may, with greater victories of peace. Amen. I'd like to introduce some important folks to us here this morning as our guest. Selectman of Harpswell, David Chipman. I'd like to introduce and thank Harpswell anchors, BC Cameron, for being here this morning to make a permanent record of this day. And to Donna Ferzali, Channel 14, who is ever faithful in preserving our history through the TV camera. I'd like to add this morning that our commander, Michael Doyle, was called out of town unexpectedly, and he called me Friday to see if we could possibly put a program together in his absence. And I don't know whether he had a planned speaker for the day, but hearing none, I'm going to take the mantle and talk on a couple of subjects of importance to veterans, and I hope to all. You know, there are 18 million veterans living among us in every state and territory, in every walk of life. Our Veterans Day origins go way back to World War I. Raymond Weeks of Birmingham, Alabama, reorganized an Armistice Day parade for that city in November the 11th, 1947, to honor veterans for their loyal service. Later, U.S. Representative Howard Rees of Kansas proposed legislation changing the name of Armistice Day to Veterans Day, to honor all veterans who have served America. In 1954, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed a bill proclaiming November 11th as Veterans Day and called upon the Americans everywhere to rededicate themselves to the cause of peace. He issued a presidential order directing the head of the Veterans Administration, now the Department of Veterans Affairs, to form a Veterans Day National Committee to organize and oversee the national observance of Veterans Day. In 1968, Congress moved Veterans Day to the fourth Monday in October. However, it became apparent that the November 11th date, at the end of World War I, was historically significant to many Americans. As a result, Congress formally returned the observance of Veterans Day to its traditional date in 1978. What's the difference between Veterans Day and Memorial Day? Both holidays are established to recognize and honor the men and women who have worn the uniform of the United States Armed Forces. Memorial Day, which is observed on the last Monday in May, was originally set aside as a day for remembering and honoring military personnel who died in the service of their country, particularly those who died in battle or as a result of wounds sustained in battle. Veterans Day, on the other hand, is intended to thank and honor all those who served honorably in the military, living and dead. Whether in wartime or peace, in fact, Veterans Day is largely intended to thank living veterans for their service, to acknowledge that their contributions to our national security are appreciated, and to underscore the fact that all those who served, not only those who died, have sacrificed and done their duty. Prisoners of war, POWs, and those missing in action, MIAs. A prisoner of war, POW, is any person captured or placed in prison or interned by an enemy power during an international armed conflict in the strictest sense. POW refers to the members of the armed forces, but by broader definition, it also includes members of a small independent group taking part in irregular fighting, such as guerrillas. Civilians who openly fight against an enemy or non-combatant associated with military force. Generally, enemy civilians who do not take up arms are considered internees, not prisoners of war. It was not until the 18th century that any rules existed for the treatment of prisoners of war in Europe or European colonies. Common practice was for enemy combatants to be murdered, enslaved, or ransomed. In 1899 and again in 1907, International Conference at The Hague drew up rules of conduct for the treatment of the sick, wounded, and captured. The brutality of modern warfare during World War I prompted the nations of the world gathered at Geneva to write the Convention of 1929, which expanded protections concerning the treatment of prisoners of war. The convention was ratified by France, Germany, Great Britain, United States, and many other nations, but not by Japan or the Soviet Union. The rules outlined in these three documents were updated and refined in the 4 Geneva Conventions in August of 1949. National POW or MI Recognition Day. Is the POW flag up? No. National POD MIA Recognition Day was established by the U.S. Congress in 1979 and occurs on the third Friday in September. The National Former POW Recognition Day was established by Congress in 1988 and occurs every April the 9th. The anniversary of the surrender of American forces on the Bataan Peninsula in the Philippines in 1942. And the beginning of the infamous Bataan Death March. Both commemorative days are recognized with the presidential proclamation. The distinctive black and white POW flag, which is on my shoulder, was adopted in 1972 as the official emblem of the National League of POW MIA Families. Congress took action several times between 1988 and 2008 to expand displaying the POW MIA flag at all military and VA facilities. In 2019, the National POW MIA flag was signed into law, requiring that POW MIA flag to be flown or designated on federal properties, including the U.S. Capitol building and the White House, and even our townhouse here at Harpswell, on all days that the U.S. flag is flown, and in a manner designed to ensure visibility to the public. During the year 2024, American Legion Post 171 here in Harpswell lost 3 members. I would like to at this time announce their name, and we'll observe a moment of silence. Kenneth Graybill, Paul Standridge, Gareth Anderson, James Gaudette. At this time, I declare a moment of silence in their honor and to the honor of all fallen military personnel. Observe a moment of silence, followed by a rifle salute, followed by taps. Change, hut. Order, arms. Bow, base. Set, arms. Order, arms. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our Veterans Day ceremony for 2024. I thank you all for coming. Please enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. May God bless you. May God bless all veterans. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.